Hello guys, welcome back to Everlasting Summer. My name is Big Mac. So, further ado, let's start this thing. Bright daylight struck my eyes. First I didn't pay attention as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Damn, looked like I fell asleep and missed my stop, but there were no doors. I looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good worn-out Marco Polo. Instead, the bus was the Icarus model and new. I was frozen in shock. How? What? And am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I touched my body wildly, slapped myself in the face a few times, struck the back of the front chair with my forehead. It's clear, either I'm still alive or being dead, you can still feel the pain. But how could all this happen? Maybe I was asleep for too long and ended up in the bus depot. Then what, did they put me into another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Greenery wherever I looked, tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer! But how? It was winter just a moment ago. I had a terrible headache, as if my head was going to explode. Step by step, I started to recall. Okay, that's him looking out. Whoa, it's an eyeball. I mean, it's weird. A long road running towards the horizons. Forest, plains, fields, lakes, and forest again. I think I was sleeping, but how then can I remember all of it? And then, a gap. Some girl leaning over me. She softly whispering something to my ear. Then a gap again. Then I woke up here. Who is that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calmed me down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And the best way to look for her is to get away from here. I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped hesitating where to go, and finally went in the direction where the bus probably came from. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind. Thoughts became clearer, and it gets a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat by gulping hot air. In any case, the run did its work. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I'm really just dreaming. Though after recalling my self-harm, I merely rejected the idea. I am neither dreaming nor dead. A narrow road was running through the field or far into the distance. That exact route from my dream. I must be very far from home. And it is not that it was winter yesterday and completely summer now. It is about the environment. Of course, the summer is usually like that, green and hot, but here everything is not just like in real life. Everything looks like it was taken from the paintings of Russian landscape artists of the 19th century. The grass is just too lush, the brushes are not like what bushes should be. They're so thick that you can't see anything through them, like treetops honestly. And the trees themselves. The forest was quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had to closer, even like some were now just waiting for an order to advance in the fields and plains. I caught my breath and looked for the bus, which was now barely visible. Good run. That was a good run. Fear took over me once again, and those power lines. There must be people here. But what does it mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Even hell can have power lines. Baking and roasting the sinners is too old-fashioned. I must have reached a point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely or finally try to understand what is going on. And while I still have the choice, I should rather pick the second option. I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course, it was frightening, but I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or the woods, and this wretched bucket of screws is the only kind of link that I have with the real world. I should carefully scout the area. A brick wall and its gates crowned with Sovianok sign that shows the pioneers at the sides, and a road sign nearby showing the bus route, number 410. The trip's taking a bit long today. I smirked. A person may start acting inadequately. Oh my god, I cannot talk. Sorry guys. In extreme situations, something like is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Sovianok. Could have a name like that. Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp, and this camp seems to be working. Of course, the simplest explanation logically explains nothing at all. The strange girl, the altered bus, summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly, from alien abduction to lethargic sleep, from hallucination to time and space shift. None was worse than the other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it all came to me. I can try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number from my contact list. Uh-oh, that's not good. But instead of signal strength, the screen showing at the cross. Alright, there may be no signal in such backward country place. So I cannot be only who got here. Buses don't go on their own. I checked the bus from all sides to make sure that it wasn't a hallucination. Bits of dirt at the bottom, some rust here and there. Faded out paint and worn out tires. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. Yeah, exactly the kind of bus which take you places beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep. I gave a nervous struggle. It came out by itself sporadically, because it wasn't right place time to laugh. But where on earth is the driver? I cautiously sat down on the curbstone beside the bus and started waiting. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached the top, and I started going slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would have probably felt something similar. Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Is this how it will all end, how my life will end? But I wanted to do so much, so many things that I had no time for yet. I was taken over by the idea that was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone. God, why? Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my outcries were only heard by speechless statues pioneers and by a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped her wings and took off, having cried something in its own language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared to interrupt its after-dinner nap. At last I was breathless with my weeping and just laid quietly, sobbing from time to time. After a while I managed to pull myself together. Mind cleared up a bit, as if terror and the fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? It doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is some crazy coincidence, then it probably carries no threat. Anyway, for now, it seems there is no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding my head, and my hands were still shaking. Right now, there is nothing I can really change anyway, so no matter how much I think you'll get mad, it would only make things worse. There's no point making guesses until I get some facts straight. In any case, I won't learn anything by lounging about here. The camp is, of course, it's really a camp. Looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to walk there, and hardly have I reached the gates when a girl came out from behind them, wearing pioneer uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, pioneer uniform in the 21st century? Then again, girls here. I froze, unable to make a step. I felt very much like running away. As far away as I could from this place, far from the bus, gates, statues, and far from this bloody bird with his siesta. Just run, feared like a wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by and winking to the galaxies. Run, become a pulsar ray, and turning into vestigial radiation, and then to face the unknown. Run no matter where, as long as it's far away from this place. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Human instincts work despite of consciousness, and while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive processes, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life, and in particular ensuring stable function in the whole normal system. I desperately wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from the encyclopedia, though my thoughts appeared one by one, being stupid, out of place, as if shaken from an internal monologue of a hero of some junky, soft-cover crime fiction book. Pretty Slavic face, long braids looking like 2 armfuls of fresh air, and blue eyes in which you could drown. Hi, you must have arrived. Must have just arrived, sorry. I will reply. Yeah. Alright then, welcome. She smiled broadly. Strange, it looked like as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. Pah. I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and fields seemed better, but what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was human, or run away, or whatever. The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing apart from the inside a little bit more, and the poor pioneer girl would have been swaddled with the hideous contents of my skull. What's funny about that? The girl gazed over me. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. Nothing. Great then. Great, what's great about that? Suddenly I felt like letting it all be. The bus behind me, the winter yesterday, and summer today. Take off the itchy pullover and just believe that it was all real, that it was all meant to be, and that it all at last was really better. And you must probably know. You should go to that camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look, you go straight ahead to the square, then turn left, and you'll see small cabins. She pointed at the gates as if I knew what was behind them. Well, you can ask someone where Olga Dmitrievna's cabin is. Got it? Of course I didn't. I gotta go. The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared behind the gates. It seemed as if for her I was something ordinary. And all this show with the bus and the travels and waking or sleeping were troubling only me, while here everything was just like it was supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneer. Jesus Christ. Not talk, guys. Are they making historical reconstruction here? Perhaps. I hope I wouldn't find Lennon standing top of an armored car at the square. Even that would not surprise me right now. After standing alone for a while, I headed into the camp. Near 50 meters ahead, one small one-story house had popped up on the left side. The billboard near the door said clubs. I was about to come closer, then the door suddenly opened and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out. Hello there. Okay, her pretty face gave me the impression of bearing the torment for the fate of the whole mankind with a feeling of universal sorrow. Oh man, that's deep, man. That's deep. It's deep. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze, as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was the best to do, to approach her or wait until she shows some initiative. Maybe run away after all. Although the last option was constantly suggested only by my self-preservation instinct. At least that's what I like to believe. Not the worst human instinct, but one far from being the most logical. If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the result would be predetermined. Those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were hinting me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. Suddenly somebody jumped out of nearby bushes, a girl wearing a bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. Such exact reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from the distance and was probably younger than most pioneer girls at the gates and the girl at the door of the clubs. Alistair decided to come closer, but the USSR, as they called it in my mind, went to the first girl and started telling something while swaying in the air. Swaying in the air? I don't know. The other girl in turn seemed confused, looked down and made no reply. I would have probably continued to observe amusing dialogue, but the USSR suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started shaking it in front of the first girl's face. What is that? Okay. Oh, it's a grasshopper. If something turned out to be a grasshopper. Eeeeee! That was weird. Squealed the first girl. She must not too keen of insects, as she instantly rushed towards where Lenin presumably made a speech about the accomplished workers and peasants' revolution. That's to say, towards the square. USSR glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. Not a bad start of the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here, real plain pioneers. As far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seemed so real, if a little embellished. But I was starting to fall into thinking that, in fact, my previous life could have been just a dream. And what should I do now? Sorry guys, I'm a little sick today. So, I have school, so it sucks. I was picking the cracks in the tiles which paved the pathway, and stared aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decision. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass weeping. I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct where, when all energy for whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. He's freaking smart, man. I seem to have chosen the second option because out of the blue I got this determination to figure out what was going on. In order to do that, I had to act like a man, like a human, to maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. I followed the path to the left and to the right, of which stood small cabins, apparently homes of local pioneers. Actually, they looked quite close from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I have never been part of its children organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the young October children. Imagine the daily life of a typical pioneer camp. But differently huge, barracks with long rows of metal bunks. Wake up call at 6 o'clock. Played by siren 1 minute to make your bed. Or wait, could I be confusing with something else? I was suddenly hit on the back. A second but remained on my feet, turned around and prepared to become a hero on the wall, fighting for my life. But all I found was another girl standing before me, my mouth hung open in surprise. Pick your up off the floor. I closed my mouth. It's in a pioneer uniform, but it looked like, say, provocative the way she was wearing it. Like all the girls I had met before, this one was rather cute, though her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. So, you're new here? Fine, see ya. She dashed a threatening glance at me and walked past. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn at the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to. The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not get the feeling of some deadly danger, except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. Thus I managed to make it to the square. There was no linen on an armored cart, although one could really expect something like that after all that had happened. Instead, however, a monument to a certain comrade tore in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read Jenda. Must be some big figure of the party. There were some small benches at the sides. It's quite cozy here. Where did that girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. And why am I going there anyway? Alright, I've decided to pretend to be normal. So, to the right. Through a small grove. I walked to a pier. I must have taken a wrong turn. Oh, wrong way. I turned towards the voice. That first girl stood before me. I did tell you to turn left in the square, and where have you gone? She changed from her pirate uniform into a bikini. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself. My name is Slavia. Actually, the full name is Slaviana, but everyone calls me Slavia. So can you? Yeah. I still felt a bit confused, so I could not come up with more meaningful answers. And what's your name? I felt like she could see right through me. Semyon. Nice to meet you, Semyon. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here a minute? I'm going to change and we'll go to Olga Dmitrievna together. Agree? Agreed. She ran off after these words and sat on the pier and let my feet hang into the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such weather there was nothing wrong in getting my feet wet. Furthermore, let me cool myself a little. Looking at the river, I was brainstorming, processing everything that had happened. If this is some kind of conspiracy, it is a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it really looks more like a random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event. Shall we go? Sylvia was standing beside me, dressed in a pirate uniform again. Let's go. I've been here for a very short time, but all the people I've met, she looks the least suspicious. However, this fact is already something. We walk to the square. The USSR girl and the girl who hit me on the back were there, chasing each other. Is it some kind of game they're playing? Oh, Yana, enough running. I'll tell everything to Olga Dmitrievna. Aye, Captain. I decided not to question Slavia for a while about what was going on about the local residents. Better first reach the mysterious Olga Dmitrievna. Sounds like she's the boss here. We were walking past the rows of almost identical cabins, some of which looked like fat beer barrels, while others looked more like household sheds. Finally, Slavia stopped in front of a smallish one-story cabin. It looked like an artist's painting, the fading paint chipping here and there with age. It was sparkling in the sun. The window shutters, slightly ajar, swinging in the wind almost unnoticeably, and huge lilac bushes were growing on the sides. It seemed as if the ramshackle hut was drowning in the velvet purple storm. The lilacs, like some elemental force, were inexorably destroying the 2-liter's house. What are you standing for? Let's go. Sylvia took me out of my daydream. And stop teasing Nina already. Holy frickin', what the hell is that? Rena? Sounds like there's someone inside. Indeed, a moment later, the door swung open and Olyana ran out and dashed past with the same mischievous grin. The pigtail girl ran out next. Don't get upset about her, Lena. So her name is Lena. Gotta be thankful it's not Rena, at least. But I don't... She didn't finish her phrase, blushed, and quickly headed towards the square. For some reason, I felt like turning around and following her with my eyes, but Slavia said, Come. We entered the cabin. Inside it looked like something similar to what I was imagining. 2 beds, a table, a couple of chairs, a simple carpet on the floor, a wardrobe. Nothing special, but at the same time I felt homelike and cozy, although this room was almost at the same state of disorder as my own flat. The girl standing near the window appeared to be about 25 years old. The nature obviously gifted her with a pretty face and a good body. At least one thing that can keep you happy in this pandemonium. The locals are beautiful. You're finally here. Excellent. My name is Olga Dmitrievna. I'm the camp leader. Nice to meet you. I'm Semyon. She started to talk as if I weren't surprised by anything that was going on. She came closer. We've been waiting for you since early morning. You've been waiting for me? Yes, of course. And when does the next bus come? And why do you need it? Yeah, right. Why would I need it? Guess I shouldn't ask direct questions so people here may react to them quite unlike what I'd prefer. And I doubt I'd get any answers. No reason, just curious. By the way, where are we exactly? Our mailing address, I mean. I wanted to send a letter to my parents to tell them I got here all fine. For some reason, I had the desperate idea that if I played along, I would find something out. Oh, but your parents gave a call just a half an hour ago, so they sent their regards to you. No, that's a surprise. So, can I call them? Because I forgot to tell them something before I left. No. She gave me a sweet and natural smile. Well, why not? We don't have a time here. Then how come my parents make the call here? I just come back from the district central town. It's there that I talk with them. Oh no, that's how it is. And can I somehow get to the town? No. Why not? Because the next bus only comes in a week. I decided not to inquire how the troop leader managed to get there and back. I would get an answer anyway. And all this time, Fluffy was standing next to me and seemed to find nothing odd in our conversation. Oh, we need to find a uniform for you. Got absolutely no desire to put on a pioneer shorts or to wear the ridiculous red neckerchief. However, wearing winter clothes in the summer is not a good idea either. Right, thank you. I wonder if I'm the only one who here who find it strange that someone's wearing a coat and winter boots in such heat. Righty right. I'll be off then, and you can get yourself acquainted with the camp. Don't forget to come to dinner in the evening. Having said that, she walked out of the cabin. No, walked is not the right word. She rushed out. I was now alone with Flavia. I must go too. I got things to do. Have a walk. Look around the camp a bit. See you in the evening. If there is no catch or menace to that, in this reality, in the person of Flavia, becomes more and more something to be fond of. For the first time today, I realized that it was awfully hot here, although obviously my winter clothes were to blame for that. Took off my coat and dropped it onto the bed. My pullover went after I was now wearing only the shirt. That's much better. All I could do now was follow the advice and go look around the camp. I'll try to find something out meanwhile. Passing the local residential district, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way. And it was really a pioneer guy, not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men even in this Amazon's kingdom. Hello, you're new here. You must be Simeon, right? And how do you... Everyone knows already. I'm Electronic, by the way. The real one. You can call me that. Electronic, the real one. Things were going for crazy, completely insane. Alright. Oleana also calls me Cheese. Cheese? Well, not cauliflower. Because my last name is Cheesecloth. I see. Let me show you around. I accepted his offer, as if it would have been much longer to get to know this place alone. Fine, let's go. You come back to the score again, as if there were no other places to go in this camp. Lena was sitting on one of the benches, eating some book. Electronic confidently approached her. Hello, Lena. Meet the new guy. Simeon. He started briskly. Hello. Well, you could say we've already met in a way. Yes. She looked away from the book for a moment, glanced at me, flushed, and went back to reading as if noticing that we were still here. Alright, let's go on. As I was first surprised at meeting this girl was reduced to a couple of words, but then I thought it was better. Sorry guys, this is my alarm going off. So sorry about that guys, it's my alarm. It's set to go off at 5 o'clock. So I might be done with this soon, the day one, because I have to take a shower at 5:30. I have to go to practice. Basketball practice. Well, I don't really have to go basketball practice, but I like to get up early, so I'm already dressed for school, and I'm in high school, sophomore, about 3 more years of school, or high school anyways, but still. Anyways, let's get on with this, so I can get done. Electronic vigorous activity do not fit well with Lunar Shyness. Let's go. Next we came to a building which I instantly identified as a canteen. And this here, I know, this is where you consume organic food. Yeah, something like that. On the canteen's porch, there stood the unfriendly girl who hit me on the back earlier. Her sight, my joking mood vanished in the blink of an eye. Really, now is not the best time to pull this guy's leg, even though he's quite hilarious. First I need to figure out what here, at least where am I? Hey, over there. That's Elisa Jeffiska. Be cautious around here. He's speaking in a whisper. Don't ever risk calling her Jeffiska. She doesn't like that. What did you say? What did you call me? She must have heard him. Blinking of an eye, Elisa jumped down from the porch and dashed toward us. Alright, you'll manage from here onwards. Electronic took to his heels. I will... What shall I do? What shall I do? to do nothing. At least I running past, stopped for a moment and go, "I'll deal with you later." Deal with me? What did I do wrong? I just forced guilty smile to my words. But what am I guilty of? She made no reply and went on chasing electronic. It looks like I'll have to kill my time alone waiting for the dinner. I decided to go east, at least in the direction where the east would have been in my world. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. The game was in full swing there. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. My childhood and in the teen years, I was not a bad player myself, and even thought of going professional, but a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of a certain chance in the game. Kids of different ages were running in the pitch. I could see a boy of about 10 and a girl about 14 years old. A girl. Hey, that's Oliana. Alright, she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one after all. I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me. Hey you, Oliana shouted. Wanna play? I did not know what to answer. On the one hand, it's no big deal running for 10 minutes. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be a final one. But in my case, my attire wasn't suitable for the weather. Played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot and without jeans would be simply unethical. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response, turned around and walked back. I was followed by Oliana's screams about my pants or about me being a patsy or something like that. The evening was calling, making me feel tired and empty after a day wasted for no real purpose. I came back to the square, sat down on a bench, and threw an exhausted sigh. I'll better sit here and wait for dinner. After all, it's easier to search for answers when you're not hungry. They do give food to people here, right? You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. I feel hungry now, and I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. Could great people also be affected by this? In such case, how did Spartacus start the slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and it does not really matter which mechanism do I serve as a gear, society, matrix, or weird pioneer camp. It must be a dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that now I knew where it was. Olga Dmitrievna was there, standing on the porch. I stopped and looked closely at her as if I were expecting something. She looked back from me at a while, but at last came closer. Semyon, what are you waiting for? Come in already. Guess nothing bad can happen if I come with her. My stomach backed me up here. The two of us went inside. The canteen looked like a canteen. I had a chance to visit the factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and tables, glazed tiles on the wall, sand on the floor, and sophisticated tableware with occasional crack. Guess that's what the canteen and pioneer camp supposed to look like. Semyon, wait a minute, we'll find you a place to sit. She looked around the place. Devchevskaya? Don't know how to say that. Hold on, right there. Olga Dmitrievna shouted at Lisa, who was passing by. What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with it? Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative. Get your uniform nice and neat right now. Alright. Lisa got her shirt right and walked past shooting an unpleasant glare at me. So, where can we find you a place to sit? There weren't a lot of free seats. Go over there to Oliana. Yeah, that's fine. The food's already on the table, too. I know the choice was to accept. Of course, there was probability that the cutlets were poisoned with curry, the mashed potatoes just seasoned with arsenic, and the glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. But it all looked so tasty that I had no chance to resist. Hey, what do you want? I replied rather rudely to Oliana, who was sitting next to me. Why don't you play football with us? Because of my clothes, said I, pointing to the source of the problem. Oh, alright, then eat. However, there wasn't much left to eat. The cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could do it. No, more precisely, Moran, but Oliana could do it. Give me back my cutlet. In a big family, you snooze and use. If you toss your cutlet if you're careless, give it back, I'm telling you. I looked at her immensely and was about to reach out my hand. I don't have it. And indeed, Oliana's plate was empty. It seemed that the little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlets. Take it easy, we'll work things out now. She grabbed my plate and ran off. There's no point following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it much easier way. At about a minute later, Oliana returned and handed me the plate with a smoking hot cutlet on it. That was awkward, I said. Here's one for the starving. Thanks. That was all I could say. So hungry that my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and Oh my freaking god, what the heck is that? That's a centipede or something. What the? Some bug. No, not a bug. An insect. It's got legs and it's wiggling. The plate fell into the floor and broke into pieces. The chair hit me hard on my leg while falling. Just like insects since I was a child, but when these creepy crawlers appear in my plate, that's just way too much. You little... Oyana seemed ready for such a twist and was already at the door, laughing as if she had just heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed to her. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart, and I felt I would catch this little girl easily. We ran through the square, past the club's house, and ran onto the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Oyana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. I simply can't. I was standing trying to catch my breath again. The evening was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to the camp. However, I had no clue which way to go whatsoever. Well, gotta choose a random. I stayed for quite some time in the forest, and even thought of crying for help, but finally I saw the campus fence behind the trees. Everything falls back into place. The bus is gone, mumbled out quietly. On the one hand, there was nothing strange about it. The bus couldn't just stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving, because buses do not drive themselves. Or do they? This world seemed too normal, but every event here had at least two explanations for it. An ordinary, real, everyday explanation and a surreal one. Surely the driver could have just been off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why. In any case, this is not a place for me. Whether the bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important than how I had got here at all, and where this here was. The fields and the woods stretching towards the horizon had no answers. There was nothing familiar about them. Strange, odd, and alien world. However, absolutely not frightening at the same time. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from his job, or all this running around the camp and the local pioneers had lulled me so much with their carefree normality that I was sometimes simply forgetting what had happened to me just a couple of hours ago, though I probably just had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was some peace, calmness. I wanted to just have a break from it all, and only after that I would continue looking for some answers ready and reloaded. However, that would be some time later, and what about now? I let myself to relax. It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night in the camp. I was about to head back when someone came silently from behind. "Hello, what are you doing here so late?" It was Flavia standing before me, so surprised that I got a seizure. "So, you haven't gotten Leona, have you?" She smiled. I nodded disappointedly inside. "No wonder. No one ever has. Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use of her energy than looking for adventures. You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all." Indeed, I had completely forgotten about hunger. After these words of hers, my stomach drew my attention to itself by giving a traitorous mumble. Fluffy smiled. "Let's go then." What, is the canteen still open? It's all right. I have the keys." "The keys?" "Yes, I have keys to all facilities in this camp. I'll come." "Well, I'm something like a camp leader's aide here." "I see. Well, let's go." It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Flavia stopped in her tracks. "Excuse me, I should warn my roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worrying otherwise. You go into the canteen and I'll come in a minute. Alright?" "Alright." I really did not expect that so late hour someone would be there besides me. Somebody was apparently hopelessly trying to open the door. Without any secret thoughts, I walked up onto the porch. The lockpicker turned out to be Elisa. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while and then said, "Don't just stand there, give me a hand or something." "Meaning?" "Help me open the door." "Why?" "Because I want some bun with kefir. The dinner wasn't enough." Is it really a good idea?" "Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Leona didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she?" She smiled sarcastically. "It's true she did. It's fine. Flavia will come now and..." "What?" I shouldn't have said that. "I'm off then, and you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already." Having said that, Lisa disappeared into the night. And what was the first one for? Flavia didn't keep me waiting for too long. "Is everything fine?" "Yeah, why are you asking?" "No reason, it's nothing. It was better if I didn't tell her about Elisa. Everything's fine." I said that and instantly heard a trace of dishonesty in my voice. "Well, shall we go?" As for Flavia, she seemed not to have noticed anything, or at least she was pretending she didn't. We entered the canteen. "Wait a bit, I'll go get something." I sat down on a chair, obediently waited for my saviors. My dinner was simple: a few buns and a glass of kefir. No wonder I bet hungry pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Sylvia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face? No, just... She smiled. But how did you like your first day in the camp? Well, I don't really know. Silly to ask someone who suddenly found himself in a different reality whether he liked the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or the sign touch. It's alright. You'll soon get used. Olivia stared into the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least she wants me to think that she doesn't. Well, I don't know. It's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence. Do you think so? She asked without any interest. Yeah, this place is so... I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they knew. And the term life was applicable here at all. So, how? She looked at me closely, as if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely, yeah. It's lovely here. I guess you're right. She smiled again. It's very good that you think so. Why? Well, not everybody likes it here. And what about you? Me? Yes. I love it here. It's great. Then you don't need to worry about what other people think. Well, I don't really worry. Slavia laughed. This conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to get. And you're worrying yourself? Really? Why? Well, when someone is chewing so intensely... I'm sorry. It's okay. I couldn't force myself to be more careful with this girl. But why exactly her, with any local inhabitant? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely normal, so normal sends chills down the spine into the marrow. Normal, not like a neighbor human with the power drill in one hand and subwoofer? Is that right? Subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger human you can often meet in a subway or public transport. Not like a co-worker human next table in the open plan office. Not like a friend human who only differs from other humans in this constant insistence. All of them looked normal, as I would expect them to be, with their own downsides but without any superpowers, and Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to show you the camp but ran off my feet. I didn't miss anything while being on my own, I guess. You sure you haven't missed anything at all? She smiled so hard that I cast my eyes down in confusion. Well, how could I know? It's the first day I'm here. Okay. What have you seen so far? I've seen the square, this canteen, the football field, and what about the beach? Just from afar. You should really go there, or let's do it together. Yeah, okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be in this world? It looks strange just for me, but for them it is native. Maybe I got thrown in the past. Yes, this would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question? No. Heh. Sophie smiled and stood up from the table. It's late. Will you find the way to a gold Triviana by yourself? Of course I will, but why should I go there? She'll sell you to someone. What for? Probably this question seems stupid, because Slavia burst into good laughter. You need to sleep somewhere, right? That makes sense. Fine, I'll go then. Good night. Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. Key bundle within a door lock caught my attention. I was going to catch up to Slavia, but where does she live? Knocking on every door during the middle of the night didn't sound like a bright idea. Take the keys or leave the keys. Take the keys or leave the keys. I have no clue. I will take the keys. I better take them. We'll give them back tomorrow, because who knows what happens here at night. Such thoughts gave me a chill. It is me who needs to be careful here in the first place. The night, though... Oh my goodness. Nope. My goodness. The night, though being dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, songs of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. Sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice and go to the camp leader's cabin has appeared. I didn't know why the look of the unknown bronze builder communism put me into a constructive mood. I sat on the bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter than near the canteen. Belated pioneers were running by, so this place did not seem scary at all. But as summer camp girls, I was so tired from everything new and strange I could not come up with a single explanation of what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. Girl, reading the book. Lena. I just had to come closer and talk. She was the only new person I met here without having even few words chat. Hi, what are you reading? Lena was so surprised that she even jumped up. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you. Never mind. She blushed and stared into the book again. So, what are you reading? The cover was written Gone with the Wind. I don't know. I'll keep silent. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think such literature suits her very well. Lena doesn't seem to be interested in continuing the talk. Well, if I'm bothering you. No. She answered while still looking into the book. Can I sit aside for a while? Why? Really, why? Maybe just because I was very tired and being with company is better than being alone. Maybe I wanted to try out to find something for her. I carefully examined Lena, but no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I'm not allowed to? Feel free. But if I'm bothering you. No, you know. I can leave just to tell. Everything's alright. Okay then. She found the end of the bench carefully. After such an intensive talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice just to stand up and leave. Didn't really go on, huh? It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet if Oleana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. You enjoy being here? I recalled Slavia's question, and thought it would be a good start for our conversation. Yes, she slightly smiled. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable and probably can't support the meaningless conversation as you do Slavia, but there was something in her that attracted the attention, like a momentary sight or reflection in your glasses at rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish or understand what it was, but it still felt so tempting. Lena was still reading the book without paying me any attention to my presence, and I had no intention at all to ask her anything about the camp or this world in general. Beautiful night. Yes. How would you start a conversation with her? It's late. I have to go. Yes, it's quite late. Good night. Good night. There was something strange in this girl. At first glance, she is a typical shy, modest pioneer girl, but Mystery Lena took its own place in massive lists of mysteries of this camp, which I started to put together in my head. It's the evening. There's nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed towards Olga Dmitrievna's cabin. The light in the house was on. Ah, Semyon, you are quite late. Yeah, I went for a walk to look around the camp. Alright, you will be sleeping here. She pointed her finger at one of the beds. Right here? I got a bit surprised. Yeah, it's something wrong? We're out of free cabins anyway. Camp leader smiled, but I'd rather think it was a smile of politeness. You want to be a decent pioneer, don't you? There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yep, sure. I got lost in thought for a moment. Don't you mind it, mademoiselle? She looked at me oddly, with surprise and some kind of offense in her eyes. Pioneers should respect the elders. Olga Dmitrievna said strictly. Of course he should. No one argues that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong. Shouldn't you also? She stared at me. Under such a gaze, even Mithril forged by best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what? What's up, Tut? What's up, Tut? Nuisance and lack of understanding made me talk a little louder. You must address adults appropriately. Yes, of course, there are a lot of strange things here, but this girl is just a couple years older than me, or maybe even younger, but I decided not to argue. Well, just a few minutes ago, I would also never call her adult. I have to admit that she was also given a strong character. In any case, I wasn't in position to argue. As you say, ma'am, I mumbled. That's way better. This is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep. Honestly speaking, I wasn't going to become neither a decent nor decent pioneer. And just yesterday, I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have a choice now? Desire will put you down with fire. This is a model Olga Dmitrievna was probably going to use. I went into bed and closed my eyes, only to realize how tired I was after today. Something hammered in my head awkwardly, as if my brain started a night shift. And they seemed to be aimed more at rolling the steel than working with something more sensitive. The bus flew through my mind. The square with the monument. Canteen full of pioneers, and the malicious face of Oleana. Slavia. Lena. And even recalling Elisa hasn't given me much of a negative feeling. What if I'm here for good? Alrighty guys, that is the end of this episode. So I will make another one. I will make a third one if this gets more than one mic, of course, because, you know, yeah. But anyways, that is it. So I'm roughly at 45 minutes right now. So sorry that was so long, but you know. So I'm gonna check out the settings. So full screen window music. Gonna have the music up a little bit. Okay, so that's the end. So like if you like the video, comment, subscribe, anything you guys want to do. So I will make another one. I'll make another episode. The third episode will be day 2. So I think there's 7 days. There's 7 days in this. And so yeah, I will make another one if you guys liked it. So yeah, so gonna go now. So thank you guys if you enjoyed it. Subscribe like and subscribe, comment if you guys enjoyed it. So I will be going because I have to take a shower, guys. So goodbye.